Welcome to AutoChimp Electronics, guys. So in this installation video, we're going to be showing you how to install this. This is the new front camera kit that we've created for the new 70 series LandCruiser. And as you can see, it looks very nice. It mounts in the front grille of all the new models. It's a press fit and the kit's completely plug and play. And I'm going to step you through how to install this and how to add the camera switching interface to the factory screen. So this kit's going to work on all models that have this factory stereo. And what it's going to allow you to do is add a front camera, rear camera, or if additionally you want trailer cameras or up to 4 cameras total to the factory screen that you can turn on anytime you want. So as you can see here, sorry, there's a little bit of sun glare. That's the front camera mounted in the front grille. You can turn it on. You can go to the rear camera. If you want to activate the rear camera, you can turn the front camera off, turn the rear camera off, and you can turn those on anytime while driving. The good thing is it doesn't interfere with all your factory operation of the vehicle, so the normal reverse camera will still work also. And if you don't already have a reverse camera, we do a plug and play kit for those, and there's another tutorial showing you how to install it quickly and easily as well. It's not a hard kit to do either. So these switches come with white illumination to match the dash in the vehicle, and that gives you a front camera completely plug and play. And in this video, I'm going to guide you through how to pull the dash apart, how to install it, how to run the cables, everything from start to finish. Okay guys, welcome to another installation video. So today we are going to be installing a front camera kit on the new 2024 Toyota LandCruiser 70 series. And this is the camera here. We're going to show you everything you get in the kit. This mounts in the front grille. It's a press fit. It's a really nice installation. I'm going to show you. It's a really quick and easy installation. And our kit's going to come with everything you need, including the interface, the camera, the switching, so that you can turn it on and off whenever you like, the front camera, and it all works through that factory radio. So this is going to be compatible with all the models 2024 onwards, whether it's GXL, GX, Troopy, 79 series, 78 series, 2.4 litre, petrol, diesel, doesn't matter. It's going to work for anything with this model. One of the things is that you must have a reverse camera on the car already. So these didn't come out with the camera, but we do sell a camera kit so that you can add this to your vehicle quickly and easy. It's like a 20-minute installation to do that. You can get them on our website at AutoChimpelectronics.com. For the new 70 series, it's plug and play as well. But anything with this model, you're going to be able to add front cameras, trailers, everything, trailer cameras as well, or campers or caravan trailers, so you can turn them on. We come with switches for front, rear and trailer. I'm going to show you, this is the installation video, and I'm going to step you through how to do it, how to pull the vehicle apart. It's all plug and play. It comes with the looms like this, ready to go for you. And this installation video is really going to be quick and easy to follow as well. So let's get into it. First step, guys, I'm going to step you through what you're going to get in the kit. So this is going to be the main module that you're going to come in a box, and it's going to come with the camera as well, okay? So this is the front camera. This is the mounted. It's already ready to go. We've set this up for you. So you're just going to push it into the front grille and run the cables into the cabin of the vehicle. Very easy to do. I'm going to step you through it in this video. You've got the main interface here. This is the video switching interface that will allow you to run multiple cameras on the front system. It's completely plug and play. It's color coded, so you can't get things wrong. And you can add up to 3 additional cameras to the factory screen, as well as turning on the factory reverse camera as you're driving as well. And you can do that. It comes with the switches. So here's the front and rear switch. These are going to mount in the dash. And we also do have available a trailer switch, which you can get with our trailer cameras if you want an option for those as well, for the people that want those. But this kit specifically is a front camera kit for the Toyota LandCruiser. So it's going to come with the 2 switches, front and rear, so you can turn your rear camera on whenever you like while driving, or activate your front camera as well. What else is going to come in the kit is the plug and play harness. This is for the installation. This is going to install behind the stereo. I'm going to show you how to pull the stereo out shortly. It's very quick and easy to do. These are just some adapters for the switching. They just plug in as well. I'm going to show you that as we step through the video and get to that part of the installation. It's also going to come with some conduit and some cable ties. That's just for running the wires from the front camera into the cabin, you can put these around them to protect them as well and tie them up in the engine bay. So the first step, guys, is to remove the fascia from around the stereo. I like to use non-marring pry bars just so I don't slide around and damage anything. We do have these available on our website if you do want to get them. They're very cheap. We sell them in a toolkit with the 10mm socket, which you're going to use throughout this installation. So the best way to do this is to get underneath and do the bottom first. But some people like to go from the top, but it's really personal preference. You're just going to pull it forward, and you're just going to do it very carefully because you're going to lever quite firmly. So you'd normally use two hands to do this, but because I'm filming, it's a little bit more awkward. But you're going to pull it forward, and you're just going to not slide left or right, but pull towards yourself so you don't damage anything. And then you can go along the top and do the same. I'm going to use my hands up here and put the camera down to do it, just so I don't damage anything. Oh, there you go. That's easy. So there you go, it's not too bad, but they're just little press clips, so don't be too scared to pull them with a bit of strength. You just want to make sure you pull from the corners as much as possible, because that's where the clips are. Once you've got that out, you're going to pull it forward, and then there's just little locking tabs on the top of this one and on the bottom of this one. You're just going to press that down and pull it out, and it's going to clip out, and then you're going to come across and do the other one here as well. Now I'm going to put the camera down for a moment. So from there, you're going to pull out the 10mm bolts. There's 4 of them, top and bottom. You're just going to use the 10mm socket, sorry, talking a bit quickly there. Undo them, goes around anti-clockwise, and quickly pull those out as well. And we're actually going to pull the bottom shroud out as well from around here, just to put the switches in a little bit easier. I just find it's a little bit easier to pull it all the way out. There's just another 10mm bolt down the bottom here, and another one on the right hand side here. Some of you guys might think you can reach it without it, but it's much easier just to pull those 2 bolts, and this entire shroud will pull forward also. So we're going to pull the radio out. Once we pull the radio out, there's a few more of these clips on the back. Just push them and unclip them and pull the whole stereo out. This is what it's going to look like as you pull the stereo forward. So there are all the plugs on the back, and they're just the little locking tabs on top of them all. You're just going to unclip them, and just remember that there's quite a few of them, so just remember your count. So you remember to put them all back in. The top ones there, just keep them to the side, that's fine. So once you've done the 2 bolts in the bottom, you can pull this down, and it's quite loose actually. And you're going to use 2 hands to do this. You're going to grab from the top corner and down the bottom here, and just going to pull together firmly forward, because the clips are basically here and here. And you're going to pull this one, and then you're going to pull this one. That will allow it to come forward and sit down. If you want to, put a rag down here just so you've got a little bit of coverage if you don't want to, if you're worried about putting any marks on your dash, okay? But most people, it's a work vehicle, so it's up to you guys. So there's what it looks like once you pull it down. What you're going to do is pull out whichever switches you want to use. There's just got little locking tabs on the side of them. I'll see if I can zoom in. See, just there on the side. And what you're going to do is you're going to lever those inwards, okay? And there's one on the other side there as well. But once you do one side, you can virtually push them through from the back and pull them out. So whichever position you wish to place your switches in, you can select that from here. So once you've got them out, they're quite easy to get out. Like I said there, you're just going to push those side bits. You're going to get the new switches, and you can put them in whichever order you want. So I suggest, if you're doing the trailer camera, to try and do it at the same time, or at least get the switching ready if you haven't ready to set it up. But it's just easier to do it all at one time, and that's what your switches are going to be like. You got your front, your rear, and your trailer, and they're all going to illuminate. They're going to illuminate white. They're going to match the factory illumination, so they're set up to illuminate white when the parking lights are on. Once you've finished from there, we're going to go down to the kick panel. We're just going to pull off the tread plate. It's just going to be one little hand screw in the corner down there, very easily to pull off as well. And we're going to open the bonnet, and I'm going to show you how to install the front camera as well. So I'm going to do that quickly. Here we are on the driver's side. So again, when you're pulling up the tread plate, these have got clips just along here. You're going to pull this trim plate off first. So some people use these tools here. You just go through, and you just sort of lever where the pressure is, just so you don't rip them out of their sockets, because You just don't want to damage anything, and you can pull them out, like they can get stuck in here. If they do get stuck in here, don't worry, you can pull them out and put them back in. So that's nothing to worry about. And even if you break them, you can buy new ones from most auto parts stores as well. But best to try not to break them in the first place. Down in the right hand side here, there's a little 10mm socket that you can use. You're just going to turn that anti-clockwise and it's going to come off. It's just a little press-on screw. You can just use your fingers. It's really easy, guys. Pull the kick panel out as well. And the reason we're going to do this is when we run our front cables from the engine compartment, there's a little rubber grommet just down here. And as you come down into the kick panel, so this is our rear camera plug-in setup. If you've ever done that installation, it's in the same location. Just here, as above where you undid that screw, you're just going to open that up. And there's a little hole just at the back there, and that's where we're going to come through. And there's a rubber grommet there that we're going to pull out, and I'm going to show that to you in just a second. I've already pulled it out, ready to run these cables, and I'm going to show you how to do it though. So here's what the little rubber grommet looks like. And I'm telling you to do it from this side because it's pressed in from this side. And we're just going to cut a little snip in this, but to get it out, what you're going to do is you can use your little pry bar and just get behind the little plastic there. Sorry, my filming was shocking there. I was watching the grommet itself. And you're going to pull it forward, and you can get up in that little corner and just pull it forward towards you. Just be careful not to drop it and lose it. It's much easier if you're careful. And we're going to cut a little slit in that to put our cables as we come through the engine bay. And in the kit, we have some waterproof putty as well that you're going to be able to put back over this so it doesn't leak for all you guys that do four-wheel driving. And it's a very small cut that we're going to do anyway. And that's exactly how all companies bring their cables through anyway. So let's now, don't forget to pop your bonnet, okay? Pop it here, move around to the front. We're going to install the cables from the camera running through into the cabin. All right, guys, so we've come to the front of the vehicle. Now, this is going to be probably the hardest bit, but in saying that, it's still the easiest. It just, if you haven't done it before, just give it a couple of minutes or 30 seconds. Watch this video and it will make your life easier. So if you haven't opened a hood before, push this to the left, open the hood, bring the hood stand down. It goes into one of these two locations, up and away you go. Here we go with the camera. It's a press fit mount, and it's going to mount right here in the center, okay? And that's how it's going to mount. You're not going to see the AutoChimp writing, but it's showing you which way it's going to mount up, so you know, folks, so you can't get it wrong. And it's going to go specifically in this location right here. And the way it's going to come in, you've got to press it in from the back, but you've got to come in on an angle like this, so that top left-hand clip slides in, because there's a bracket that's behind there that holds everything in place, and then it's going to slide up and in. So you're kind of thinking it's coming in like this and slides up, and then you push it forward into place. So I'm going to show you that real quick, and then we're going to show you how to do the cabling as well. Now this is going to be a bit of a hard angle to show you, okay? But where we're really coming in is there's plenty of room here. If you really want to, you can take these plastic things off. They're very easy to pull off, but I don't find you need to, because there's so much room here. I know I'm a big guy, and I can certainly get my hands in here. So the center spot, you're just gonna have a look. You can see the writing, that's where we're gonna go, but there's a bar here, okay? Just tapping on it right there. And it's really sitting in between there. That's where we're going. And you've got to go on that angle that I just showed you before the 10 seconds ago in the video. So I'm going to come in through here with the camera, correct orientation, face up, and we're going to come in like this and then press it on, slide up, press it on and forward. And you can't really get it wrong, so don't be scared to make a mistake here. I'm making it sound harder because I just want everyone to get it really easy. But what you're going to do is just press it up into the corner, right? And then it's going to situate, make sure the top left one then sits over the top. And what I'm talking about there when I'm saying sits over the top, it's these two parts of the locator tabs, and they're going to press in. So you're locating the top one in first, then you're centering, and then you're coming over the top one on the right and pulling forward. And once you've got that, I'll just try and clip it forward. There you go, presses in, and that's your installation, okay? And that's how easy it is, but it's just a little bit fiddly to get it behind the bracket there because there's not so much room, but that's also what holds everything so stiff. But as you can see, it looks really nice, and this is just a tab to clear the lens. You can pull that off now if you've done your installation or finished with it. looks really nice. It blends in nicely, gives you good forward angle, and you'll be able to turn that on anytime while driving. But we're quickly going to show you now how to run the cables. So this is how I like to do it. So I get the extensions out ready to go. You can do it however you like. You're really just going to get this cable from inside the cabin to here. I like to work from the front to the back, just so all my cables are in line, and I've got a shorter length in the engine bay. It's just how I like to work. So you've got the camera mounted now. Excuse me. These have got waterproof connectors, but we're also going to put the conduit on. So I'm going to undo that now, connect it to the waterproof connector, and then I'm going to start putting the conduit on, and then I'm going to route it. And I'm just going to follow the factory cable. So you can see down there, that's another conduited cable or a split tubed cable. And I'm just going to follow that along. I'm going to run my cables along there, and I'm going to come through here. And there's lots and lots of room to put your hands in behind here, guys. So you can come all the way through. You can literally just pass it through. I like to go under these things, but you can go over them or tie them however you like. Just keep them away from moving parts in the engine bay. And you're going to come right up into this backhand corner. And I'll try and see if we can see the hole that you want. It's down there. There it is there. Okay, so you've already pulled that grommet out if you've done that from the inside. And that's where we're going to be feeding the cable through. So some people might like to feed it from inside the cabin and push through this way and then grab the cable, because you can literally put your hand down there and pull the cable through, and you can run that this way instead. Okay, and then run it all the way through. Just make sure if you're going to do it that way and you're going to come from the inside through, once you come through this grommet, then you put your conduit on and just sort of space out your lengths, so you get just the least amount of cables bundled up in the front of your vehicle, just because you want to keep the front of your vehicle looking nice. In fact, guys, I'm actually going to do that. It's going to be easier to do if I run from the inside through, and I'm going to show you that quickly. So get out of your packet this is the waterproof sealer for the grommet. So I've got the grommet here ready to go. We're going to go through to the cabin and pull the cables through, and then you can put the waterproof sealer either on both sides or one side. It's entirely up to you. So once you're in the cabin here, you're going to get your extension cable. So here we go. This is your extension cable, and you're going to get this waterproof side because it's going to be the smallest side that you're going to push through this grommet. And what we're going to do is you're going to open this grommet up, you're going to spread the sides of it, and then you're going to snip just on the inside here, because you want to keep intact as much of the original shape of the grommet without splitting it entirely. And so you just cut inside one of the lips there. You can fold them back. So just like that, and you just cut inside there. You can just poke a hole through if you have a screwdriver. I'm going to use snips. And then once you've done that, you're going to push the cable through, okay? Just make sure you do it this direction. So, because we're going to be putting the grommet back in place so it keeps the best waterproof seal we can. And you're going to push this side through this way. You don't want to get that wrong, because there is a different direction on the other end of the camera cable. So, and this one will be much easier to do because it's much smaller to do it, okay? So do it properly. In fact, if you do it the other way, you're just wasting your time. So here you can see I've just cut a little snip in the side there and pulled it back. So that's me pulling really hard. So you'll be able to flex it right out and get that cable through. So I just thought I'd show you what I meant by cutting a snip in it, and then it'll flex back to normal, and we'll be able to seal that as well. Again, just showing you the progress as I'm pushing it through. So that's how far I've flexed it to get it through there. I mean, you guys can do it however you like. This is just how I like to do it, because I like to just retain as much of the factory seals as I can. As I pull through, that will tighten around the end here, and I'll pull through enough cable to run to the front camera. All right, when you're ready to push it through, it should look something like that. Ready to go. I've got enough length of cable there to push it through. Down in the corner here, pull it up. Get right in the hole. There we go. And if we're lucky, we'll be able to go through and get it in one go. And you can always pull more length of cable through, but that's just how you've got to set your grommet up if you're going from this direction. And I'll see if I can get it in one go. I'll have to do it without my eyes. There we go. And that's how easy it is, guys. So now that's hitting on the, you're just going to pull it through. There we go. Yep, perfect. So there is a little thicker part there that's got to come through as well. So just be aware of that. Don't pull that foot through as well. Well, you can pull it through, sorry, just don't yank on it and pull it off. There you go, as we pull the tension, so that'll be right where the rubber grommet is. I'm gonna come back, and I'm just gonna push that grommet in so it secures and doesn't pull through on me. Because if it pulls through, it's just harder to push it back in again. So do that at this point in time, and then I'll go through and do the conduit on the other side, and we'll run the cables to the front camera. Now I'm gonna tell you on this one, guys, doing conduit is a test of your patience and resilience. So this is probably, it's not a hard part, it just takes time to do. So the way you do split tubing is you're going to have the split on the tubing and slide it on at a bit of an angle, right? And you just sort of feed it on. Now that just takes a little bit of time. I hate it. It's just one of my pet peeves, but I recommend it because you're coming through the engine bay. It's going to make it look really nice, and as you can see here, you can just sort of slide it on. Some people use a little bit of lubricant, but I find that very hard to do because you end up with lubricant everywhere. So you're going to push that right down into that grommet down there in the driver's kick panel, and then once you reach the final section there, we're going to use that little rubber putty and we're going to seal it down there, and we're going to use some cable ties, and I'm going to route this along these sections here, but I'm just going to go under a few things down to the front camera, and we're going to plug it in. And I'm going to show you how easy that is. With the split tubing, you're just going to snip it wherever you finish using it. So you just put it to the end of your cable, and then you're going to snip it. And to do your connections, this is the part from the camera, coming from the front camera. Very easy to do. There is a little arrow here, all right, and a little arrow here. There's a little notch on the inside as well. If you look on the inside, you'll see a little notch up the top. So you can't really get it wrong. It's more about finesse than rough and strong, guys. Don't jam it in, okay? You're just going to keep it like that. That's a little waterproof connector. And when I do these, I will end up putting conduit over the waterproof connector and a couple of little loops here within 5 centimeters of the connector. These are your guidelines. If you want to turn the front guidelines off, or the orientation of the camera, if you want to flip it vertically or horizontally. Some guys might want to use that camera in a different position. You can certainly take it out of the bracket that we've got there and use it however you like. So these are to allow people to mount that camera however they like and turn the guidelines off if you don't like the guidelines. So once we've finished with putting the conduit on and tying that up, I'll show you how it looks. So here's how we've run it, guys. I've just mounted it behind here. I've left the cable ties on to show you, so you can see the tails and the cable tie. Just tied it up there, one down the bottom there. I'm going to cut that off in just a moment as well. And I've just tied some cables here, and I've mounted all the excess cables there. So they're all conduited up, or split tubing, whatever you want to call it. I've just got a habit of calling it conduit, and down into the kick panel. And from here, we're just going to run the cables up into the center console. So to do that, you can do this quite easily, guys. Just going to take some cable ties. You can do it two ways. You can come under the carpet, so you can pull all this carpet forward. Some people just like to do that. It's a bit of Velcro here and stuff like that. You can come up behind the dash, or you can come over the top and tie it with the cables, okay? If you're going to go over the top, just stay out of the way of your steering column and any moving objects, okay? So if you don't feel comfortable doing that, go right underneath your carpet here. There's enough room to just tuck it behind, tie it up and go that way. I personally am going to go through the top because I just like doing it that way, because I just like to go straight from that grommet over the top and into the center. All right, so we've run the cables up into the center. I've just cable tied mine up the back there, put a bit of tape and bundled it around, so when I push it back in, it's all going to be nice and neat. You can buy the cloth tape on our website also. We give you that option if you need it. And you're just going to put the little adapter on the end of the camera, and that's going to go into the module. So from here, this is the easiest part. So this is the main interface module, and it's super easy to do. It's going to come like this, as I showed you at the start of the video. All the power connections are here, and there's only one way to do them, okay? One side's red, one side's blue, one side's this big connector, and it's really easy to do. It's just kind of correspond to the same things on here, okay? So you'll be able to see red on here, and we've put blue on the other one there, and there's the 8-pin connector. The other two green plugs are your switches, and then these are your main T-pieces on the harness. So I'll quickly go ahead and show you. I'm just going to untape this now and show you how it connects directly to the radio. Very easy to do. So as you untape the harness, this is what it's going to look like. It's very straightforward. You've got these two connectors here. They're T-harnesses. They're going to clip into the main Toyota parts here. That's for the power and the triggering. This is the parts that connect to our interface. So you'll see those three plugs will go into the front of the interface there. And these green plugs, they're going to route down the bottom here, and they're going to come into your switches, okay? Very simple and easy to do. So here we've put the module in. The module's got double-sided tape on the bottom, so you'll be able to stick it down at the end, or you can just tie it up behind. All this has been cloth taped up, so it's factory fitted and nice looking. When you route your cables, run them down the left-hand side here, away from the air conditioning controls, and they come out the bottom. And then these are your camera switches, okay? Front, rear, and you're also going to have another connector here for camera 3 and 4 if you buy the other switches. If you want, so the kit itself here, we're doing is the front camera. It comes with front and rear, but if you want trailer or 3 and 4 cameras, you can add it to the secondary plug there. So you can just leave that separate, but we're just going to use camera 1 and 2 today, and we've prepped for the trailer, which we're going to do another day. And you're just going to put them into the rear of the switches. You can't get it wrong. If you get it wrong, like you're pressing the front switch, if it says front and it's turning on the rear camera, just switch the plugs over. You can switch the plug and it'll correct it for you. So it's really just the positioning on where you want it on your pad here or on your dash. Now, connecting the front camera is really easy. That connection just plugs into camera number 2, okay? So all these are the ones that come with your plug and play vehicle specific harness. And this side, camera number 2 is going to be the front camera. You have the option there. So there's 2 other ports for 3 and 4. So if you wanted to run a trailer camera or, left and right camera, if you wanted to do it, you could run those. And they're additional channels, which you can buy additional switching if you want to run those, and buy our cameras if you want to run those as well. But that's the installation. We're just going to tie that up behind the dash. We're going to plug the stereo back in. We're going to put all the dash back in. I'm going to show you one more section about putting the dash back in. Just be careful not to break these lugs. And I just want to show you how to do that so you don't damage anything. And we're going to piece this all back together. Just be careful with all your dash and be gentle as you go, and just put rags down, whatever you need. I've been doing this for 20 years, so I'm a little bit more careful and cautious anyway. And that's just all going to plug back into the stereo. Very easy to do. It'll probably take you about an hour to do the entire installation. If you can't do it yourself, I'm sure someone you know would be able to do it. But it's a very comprehensive guide so far. So before you pack anything up, it's a good idea to test things and make sure you got your switches in the correct position. So as you can see here, you're just going to turn it on, push the front, and see if it's the front for you, and see if the rear is the rear for you. So that's the rear, so you can see them there. So I'll turn the rear off now, turn the front off. I can go directly to the rear. That's the rear one, put the front one on, and you can use those while driving, so it's very easy to do, guys. And if I had the trailer, I could switch between the trailer or a 4th one as well, okay? So very simple and easy to install, plug and play. That will give you front camera, rear camera, trailer camera if you want to install a trailer camera also, all on the factory screen. Now, once you've tested that and you're going to put this back in, just the last thing I want to say on the installation is keep this very straight, because you just want to make sure that this coin tray or whatever this tray is sits on top of those little tabs that are behind there, and you push it in and clip it in that way, just so you don't break them, because I've just seen many over the years. Look at that, I've just hit the rear camera. That's how easy it is. I've seen many people break them, so just be careful. Put your 2 bolts back in, and then clip your top section back in. Just remember to pull through your cables, because you need these cables up here. They're going to be for your hazard switch. Just make sure when you put your radio in, sometimes they get a little bit caught behind, as this one has. There we go. So you just want to make sure those cables are out, because don't forget, you've got to clip those back in as you put the fascia back on.